Okay, hello everyone. Good afternoon. How's everyone doing today? I am Ryan J. McCrary. I'm the president and founder of the McCrary Financial School, which is an online financial literacy institution designed to teach financial literacy to people that want to be financially literate. People that want to be financially literate, people that want to learn about building wealth, learning about business, entrepreneurship, how to make money online, how to make money in tech. So we are joined by a great guest today, young entrepreneur, startup entrepreneur. I'm going to bring him on in a second, but let me just tell you a little bit of background on him before I bring our great guest on today. His name is Dave Jules. He's the CEO of Underlying Apps. He is a graduate of PSU, Penn State University. He has a BS, a Bachelor's of Science degree in Energy, Business, and Finance. He is a self taught marketer and tech entrepreneur. Dave has been a part of over 22 digital product development projects and launches, people that launch products with budgets between $8,000 and $480,000. So I'm going to just pause there for a minute. How many people do you know have worked with clients with budgets of $500,000? I don't know that many. I know some millionaires. I do know a few people that I can get in contact with, but me personally, I haven't had a client work with me directly that had $500,000 in a budget. So I think that means this brother knows a little bit about what he's doing. So he has founded Underlying Apps, a web and mobile design and development agency in Philadelphia, and has worked with clients ranging from budding startup founders to Fortune 500 companies, such as Elsevier. Hope I pronounced that correctly. And Independence Blue Cross, which is a huge company. So without further ado, Dave Jules, how you doing today?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good.
Okay, great. Well, I want to thank you for taking the time just to join us today. I know you have a very busy schedule, so it's a lot we want to get to. But the first question I just have for you is, I guess, what made you want to become an entrepreneur? Was it, always like, were you a kid? Were you like selling, newspapers or candy or stuff like that? Or is it something that, came later on in your life?
No, I mean, I was definitely like the kid selling candy in high school. I always had ideas to just start businesses, like just do something. It's really funny. Like I was telling the story to a friend the other day. Like me and my friend, we would sell candy to make money. Like we would. I remember back when, like, I think we were like in 11th, 10th grade. We even sold like past homeworks. like like it's probably wrong for me to say, but we were always just thinking of business to do. Like even in college, I was the same. I was always the guy starting things, whether it be a club. Like when I was in college, I started like an engineering club. When I was, I would always take classes on entrepreneurship, just like trying to learn as much as I can about business, learn about economics, just learning about the process. Even then, I always, even for my internships, I always tried to be in places where I knew I would have to learn certain skill sets. From day one, I always knew I kind of wanted to start my own business, but I always knew I needed to learn how the operations of large corporations work. That's kind of why when I was in college, I interned for a major engineering firm in Connecticut. I even worked for an investment bank in New York, just to kind of have that insight, just because it's always important to like know how they work and how they operate in terms of the bureaucracy, the logistics, just because there's a reason why everything's like that for them. And I knew if I always only have the background knowledge of small businesses, it'd be difficult to operate in that avenue as well.
Absolutely. So a couple of other people just joined. Again, if you're just joining, I'm talking to Dave Jules. He's the CEO of Underlying Apps. He has an amazing company. Everybody watching on Facebook, please share, please like, put some hearts up. That's how we beat the algorithms, by engagement. So drop a comment in, like, put some hearts up, share on your personal page, your fan page, your business page, on a Facebook group. A lot of action happens in Facebook groups. So you can share it there as well. You can also type in questions or comments in. That's how we beat the algorithm, just to increase that engagement. But you definitely hit on a lot of great things. So what do you think, I guess, for new entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs, people that want to be business owners, what are you think are just some main tips that you grasp to help people be successful as an entrepreneur?
The first thing I always say to always get a mentor. Either find someone who's doing something that you're doing and grab coffee with them. And also, you have to also be understanding of like those people are also busy. So for you, like increase the volume of people that you're trying to talk to instead of waiting for one person. Literally, no matter where you are, you're gonna meet a dozen people. Especially if you're in a busy city, like find those people and just send them an email. And right now, it's very easy to find people's emails. Whether you go to hunter.io, you can probably find the emails of like a lot of successful people and just send them a cold email and just be very honest and just say like, hey, this is what I want to do. I've read up on you online and I can see that you're really successful. I love 15 minutes of your time just to grab some coffee, um, and just kind of approach it that way. And if you literally email 12, 20 people, half of them are going to get back to you. And those are at minimum, 60 people that you meet, 6 new insights that you gain in your business, and 6 tips that you can gain on whatever business that you're trying to start, whether it be a technology company, a brick and mortar, or an e-commerce.
Yeah, and I agree. And that's something, I don't know if you follow Gary Vee, but I follow him and he talks about that a lot. Just emailing people, DMing people, because like you said, nowadays it's so easy just to connect with people, whether it's like email, going to the website, whether it's through social media, various platforms. And if you keep DMing or emailing people, somebody's going to say yes.
Yeah.
Some assistant's going to get back to you. Somebody's going to be able to sit down with you and have coffee or chat or try to walk you through some steps that you might not have to go through because they already walked that journey. And I'd say to people as well, get around people that have already been where you want to go. So, in whatever industry it is, whatever business, whatever you want to do in life, there are people out there that have already been probably what you want to do. Have already accomplished what you want to accomplish. So you got to try to get around them. They probably have a tribe. They probably have a Facebook group. They probably have a conference that they have every year that's live, online or offline. So you got to be able to, get around them and the resources out here, but you just got to take action. So one of the other questions I had for you is just basically what was your like startup process? Because that's a lot of that. I guess that's what helps hurts people the most just from the beginning is they number one don't think they have enough money or they have some idea that probably will require a lot of money. So just like what was your startup process like? Like was it did you go the VC route? Did you try to get funding? Did you do crowdfunding? Was it bootstrap? I know I think you have partners as well. Just like what was your startup process? Because a lot of people they had just have a hard trouble getting even get past this startup process.
Oh, I would say it's really. I guess I'll give you different layers of advice.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do no money, 500 bucks, and uh, let's say there's this thing as a limited cash, but let's say like money isn't really an issue. So if you're starting a business and you have zero money, my very first advice is to get clients. If you have zero money,
that's business 101.
yeah, like if you have zero money, I would uh, either your client's going to be someone who can, um, if you're doing like a service business, then find clients that you can do the service, whether it's the accounting, software development, whether it's e-commerce, like selling a product. Unless you have like an inventory product, I would wait till you have some money. But if you're trying to start a service business with no money, get a client. There's a lot of services that you can use um, to get them. Whether it be first things first, get your social media up. That was a mistake that I did, and like I wasn't really focused on social media because for the most part, referrals are always going to be your best bet. But it's always good to have that presence.
Mm-hmm.
I think earlier we were talking about how I'm actually doing that initiative now.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, meet as many people as you can. Literally go to meetups that your potential client will be interested in. So even before you go, literally find out who your ideal clients are, find out their habits, find out where they are, what do they drink, what meetups do they go to, what TV do they watch. That way you have that opportunity to talk to them. You can build that rapport. And that way you can kind of get the ball rolling and getting those initial clients. Once you kind of have that initial cash flow coming in, you kind of say like, hey, this is the business that I'm starting. I for the first 3 customers, we're doing like a heavily discounted rate or free. Depending on the project, if it's like a graphic design, you can probably do something free initially to kind of get them through the door and get those initial reviews in and get those initial referrals. And also when you meet people who actually pay you a good amount of money to do the work, they have someone to call to for as a reference.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you should do if you have zero money. And then from there, you're gonna need some money, and the money you can kind of come in. You go to Wix, Squarespace, build out a website. Pretty simple. Whether it just be really great picture, the name of your business, list your services, email. That should be good enough. And that way you can kind of collect that information. I think the Squarespace is about $26 a month for just a basic site. And then from there, you start creating content, start providing free value. I would say give away everything you can do, or all the help, whether it be making YouTube videos, writing articles, replying to people on things like Quora, Co-Founders Labs, and just provide as much value as you can, because then people will come back to you since you're becoming known as a thought leader. And from that point, you should have a couple clients come in and get some business cards. Like as you kind of scale up, start building those business infrastructures. And then from there, you can kind of approach different universities and schools and ask for interns. Those interns can work remotely. Everyone's looking for value, but always make sure if you do kind of get an intern, make sure you train them in the skill set that you've already done, and that you know how to measure the success. Oftentimes I find out when people do even hire their first hire, it goes terribly because they actually fail that person that they hired. You never trained them, you never provided the infrastructure that they needed to succeed. You were a terrible manager. So to kind of help with that, always make sure you know what they're going to do beforehand. And that advice can be kind of limiting depending on what the skill sets are. If there's some skill sets that you need that are just outside of what you're capable of, then you might be better off getting a partner. Yeah. Wow. And then if you do kind of come in with a little bit of money, like say like $500 to $1,000, then for the most part, you can kind of build up the website, the business cards, all that first. You should still do the same thing of getting those first initial clients at a pretty discounted rate or for free. And then start that way. If money is no object to you, then start a business, do the exact same thing, and then just invest a lot of money in terms of content and advertisement to really blow it up. With money, you can definitely reach a lot better clientele, which would be something that's super underutilized is LinkedIn advertisements. Not a lot of people do that. Mm-hmm. If you want to find a lot of unless if you want to do like great B2B businesses, LinkedIn advertisements is always great, and even creating content for LinkedIn. You probably won't get as much engagement as you would on other platforms, but the engagement that you would have would be a lot more impactful.
Mm-hmm. Great, man. You just shared a lot of great nuggets. I know why your last name is Jules, because you just shared a lot of jewels right now. I hope y'all taking notes. Seriously, I hope y'all taking notes, because he just literally gave y'all the blueprint, step-by-step process to start a business, build a business, whether you have, zero, $500, or you have, a lot of funding. He just gave you a step-by-step blueprint. So we see Trevor says, man, so many of my clients really don't have money to start a business. Yeah, that's a big misconception I find with a lot of clients as well. People think they don't have, the money to start a business, but all you got to do is look at their budget, and you may be able to cut some things out and redirect some of those dollars into a business. And a lot of it starts with mindset. I tell people all the time, business, like finance, a lot of stuff is mindset. You got to think that you can do it. You got to actually want to do it, and then you can definitely do it. A couple of points you definitely hit that I just want to touch on. Number one is just customers. That is the number one thing. That's the business 101 is just customers, and then finding out who your avatar is, who your target audience is. Because I say if you're advertising to everybody, you're actually advertising to nobody. So you definitely need to know, like you said, who is the client? Well, what demographic are they? What age are they? Is it male? Is it female? Is it both? Location, where do they live? How do they feel? What's the emotional state? When they go to get your product or service, are they sad? Are they happy? Whatever the case may be. Income, are they a high income earner, a smaller income earner? Are they a college graduate? Are they a homeowner? Are they not a homeowner? So I think those some are definitely some of the main points that you touched on as far as customers and developing your target audience. Because if you want to, be a business owner, entrepreneur, you need to figure out who is your audience, who is your target consumer, who are you selling your product or service for. So Trevor says that LinkedIn promo is annoying, most because you can't post from your business page from the mobile app. I don't know your thoughts on that. Me personally, I don't even use LinkedIn too much. I know I should. Like you said, a lot of people aren't advertising on LinkedIn, so that's where you should be advertising. I do a lot of mine on like Facebook and Google AdWords through YouTube. And now Derek says, my daughter wants to be an engineer, and I'm trying to dissuade her from going to school and immediately work for someone else. I'm going to have her watch this interview in the hopes of inspiring her to go into the engineering field as an entrepreneur. Great talk. Yep. No, thank you, Derek. So I guess what is your thoughts just on LinkedIn ads and stuff like that, and how do you, I guess, have success in them?
For that, yeah, I do kind of say like it is kind of difficult. That's a really valid point that you made. For that, I would say it's just try out and run it, see how the success is. For the most part, it's I wouldn't say it's cheaper than Facebook. I would say you probably don't have to spend as much money on Facebook, just because like you're not gonna get as much reach, but the people who are gonna be looking at your ad, they might be a little bit more valuable, because if you can kind of set it and just kind of say, hey, I want to only target CMOs, COOs, and CTOs, you can kind of get that value. On Facebook, not everyone kind of have like their jobs on there. But it depends on where you're trying to reach. If you're kind of looking for a really good quality B2Bs, I would do LinkedIn, because it's not going to hurt. Even if you kind of split it up between Facebook and LinkedIn, you still see a lot of value. And also, it really depends on the actual content that you're distributing. Also, always having I would always look for tips on copywriting, because that's super important. Oftentimes, when people actually go on Facebook and they don't have a lot of success in it, oftentimes it's the actual copy.
Yeah, that's true. That's very important. Sales copy is very important.
Yeah, just because they might run an ad, they don't have a call to action. They're not writing down a pain point for the potential client. A lot of things are missing. Sorry, what was the point that he made again?
I guess about LinkedIn ads.
Oh yeah, I would just try it out. Depending on your business, I always always like saying everything works. Not everything's gonna work for you. For me, LinkedIn seems pretty good because it's super easy to actually meet business owners, and that's a really good segment for my business. Depending on who you're targeting, LinkedIn can be successful. I always recommend trying it. I would always say LinkedIn's always worth it, because one, not a lot of people are on there, so you have the value of being in a scarce market right then and there, and the people who are on LinkedIn, who are already kind of doing it, they're seeing the success. I would say it's like one of the hidden jewels that not a lot of people are in. And one, Facebook isn't saturated at all, but eventually it's going to hit that spot. And always do both. I would say it's not either or; it's always and.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. So yeah, let's definitely get into your business. So, let people know what Underlying Apps is, what made you start it, and just all the services you provide and how people can get a hold of those services if they need them.
Cool. So we're a full service firm. So that means we do the design, discovery, development, and maintenance of mobile applications, web applications. So a lot of my clients, they kind of come in, they have a business idea, or they have technologies, and they kind of looking for that next step in it. So we'll go and we'll do a round of discovery. So essentially the services will analyze where you want to go, and then we'll kind of help you build the roadmap of how to get there. So for example, say if you come to me and you already have a mobile out, let's say it's just a scheduling app, and you have ideas in terms of where you want your scheduling app to go. So the very first thing is we'll write down and list the roadmap that we want to hit in terms of the new features that you want, the kind of the next set of users that you want to download, how the design's going to look, what's the story that you want to tell with it. And then we'll kind of go from there in terms of creating the designs and the iterations for that, and there'll be the entire mobile application, listing out the feature set. And for us, we always do it in segments. So the discovery and the design is always the initial engagement, and for that, you always get a roadmap. Whether or not you come work with us for the development process, we always do the design and discovery with our clients. That way, they know at the end of the day, you're always going to know how long it's going to take to develop your product and what aspects is going to be more intensive. So you get that in hours, and that's with all of our initial engagements. And then from there, we actually develop it. Just because oftentimes as a technologist, I do know it's really difficult for a lot of companies to kind of go and say this will take this long or provide you an ambiguous deadline, which can be really problematic if you're a business owner and you have a technology. One, you have to actually build promotions around it, and if you don't know when it's going to be completed, that's always an issue. So we always try to make sure that that part's set in the beginning, and then from there we develop it and we launch it.
That's great. So how can people, contact you or get a hold of you, website, everything?
You can always go to underlineapps.com, fill out our contact form there, or if you want to email me at underlinedapps.com, it's Dave at UNDERLINEDAPPS.com.
Okay, let me just put that in the chat for everybody. Hope y'all taking notes. Someone please also type it in there. Type it in the Facebook chat, and I'm going to type it in as well. Definitely got your website, underlineapps.com. Underlineapps.com. So if you need any type of tech support, any type of content creation, web development, mobile app development, please contact him because he definitely knows what he's talking about. Like you said, he's worked with Fortune 500 clients. He's worked with clients with budgets, up to $500,000. So he definitely knows what he's talking about. Again, if you just came in, I'm talking to Dave Jules. He's the CEO of Underlying Apps. He, provides multiple different services, content creation, a lot of everything on the tech side, mobile app development, web development. Thank you, Trevor, for typing in. Joseph for typing that in. Okay, Trina Jackson says, Navy Federal has a business membership you can apply for. They have business loans up to $50,000. Check Navy Federal to start your business. Thank you, Trina, for that resource. So yes, guys, check Navy Federal as a resource for business. And I tell people in general, credit unions usually are easier to get funding or get a loan than a traditional bank. So that definitely is a resource if you need funding or, reach out to a VC or a traditional bank, something like that. So just a few more questions before I let you get back to your busy day. Again, thank you for just coming in here, sharing some information, sharing some jewels. So I hope y'all taking notes. He's giving y'all the blueprint on business, how to get your clients, how to get customers, how to advertise, stuff like that, and have them keep coming back. Because as a business owner, just selling something that someone wants, that's not a big deal. The main thing is to get them back coming again and providing that value. Again, we're talking about value. That's why I bring him into the school to my students, because he can provide value. I'm trying to give value. If you're a business owner and you're only worried about making money, watch how fast you go out of business. You got to give value. So I guess, what is it like, working with clients with those budgets, for the people that, only, used to working with people with the small budget, stuff like that. What is it like working with Fortune 500 clients or people that have hundreds of $1,000s in ad budget?
I would probably say structure is really important. For me, I was lucky enough to work at other agencies to see how their operations should be run. The structure when you kind of have those businesses is really key in terms of letting them know how meetings are going to work. For them, they have their own internal processes. So as a service provider, you always need to figure out how you're going to integrate with those services with that company. And one, it's always important to kind of keep your champion happy. And your champion is going to be the person who actually brings you into that business and kind of helps you gain those contracts. So always kind of have a kickoff meeting where you kind of go over what the expectations are, what are the actual deliverables, what's actually their needs, because sometimes their needs might not be what you think they are. And if you can figure that out early on, they're gonna love you even more for it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's literally asking the right questions. And for that, honestly, that just comes from experience. Um, and always ending the question with, "Is there anything else that you think I should ask you?" That's always a really great question to ask, because then a client might say like, "Well, this is all great. This is like another problem that I'm having," which could also be a whole other project in itself. So always trying to figure out where the needs and pain points are for people.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. Now, Joseph says, do you design personal websites as well?
Yeah, we do. We do design personal websites, and that from and for the most part, uh, we try to focus on apps and like web technologies. But personal website is definitely something that we do. I always like to have a discovery. Everyone always has a company discovery meeting, and just kind of figuring out what the needs of that website is, and just to kind of let you know what to expect in terms of the domain, how your email is going to work, what's the goal of the website. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, great. And also, if you are watching on Facebook and you are not currently a student of the McCrary Financial School, I do got some of my students in here, my tribe rocking with me. You can get my free financial literacy course. It goes over entrepreneurship, credit, real estate, all that type of stuff. You can get that at financiallyliteratenow.com. Don't forget the now, financiallyliteratenow.com. Someone please type it in so we can increase the engagement, increase the algorithm. So if you are watching and you're not a student yet, I would strongly suggest you become one. My brother John Cotson's there. He just dropped a review the other day, 2 days ago, 5-star review. He said these courses are literally changing his life. We also have an affiliate program where as though you can get paid for selling courses as well, for bringing in more students, bringing in more people. We have a commission program where you can get paid as well. It doesn't cost anything for that. That is free. So I guess the last question I have for you is, I guess, what resources or suggestions do you have just for people to make money in tech? Because there's people making so much money in tech, through like digital marketing, selling info products, e-commerce, apps, all that type of stuff. Like, what suggestions or tips would you have, or resources? Just like, I guess, selling products online, apps. Since you're more in the app world, I'm more in like the online info products, trying to get traffic and conversions and stuff like that, more so than just like the app world. You would know that better than me. But do you see any like opportunities like to make money there? Also, if somebody just wants to be an investor and they say, I don't want to run a business, I don't, want to have a majority stake, but I got some extra capital and I want to put it in the right place. I want to invest in a startup or, some type of app or something like that. Do you have any tips or resources for stuff like that?
Um, I guess I'll answer this by, if you're a person that wants to start a business, I always recommend like, hey, start an e-commerce business, because then you can kind of engage in things like drop shipping, and a lot of the information regarding that is it's free, it's online,
Yeah, yep,
it's
exactly.
on YouTube, you can figure it out. Um, and that can be from selling shoes. Actually, a side business that I had was an e-commerce store where I sold shoes, and that helped me through big time. It was surprisingly really fortuitous for me. And there's like a million things that you can do. Two guys that I know, they actually have a business model where they start e-commerce stores, and their most successful stores is like a niche product where it's actually beach accessories for women. And it's two guys, and they kind of figured it out. That's a great niche to be in. E-commerce, it's there's not a high threshold to start in
Mhm.
terms of like the amount of capital that you'll need. And then from there, learn marketing. I would say learn as much as you can on YouTube. YouTube University is always great, and then always try to go to services like yours that can kind of provide those premium information. Because a lot of times it's not super expensive. Like for example, if you go with things like Skillshare, you'll learn so much information from them. Like say if you have no money, you can get a trial, use it, and soak up as much knowledge as you can in terms of like marketing, sales, finance, how to manage your budget, things like that.
All right, great. Thank you. Okay, Malik says great interview. Keep up the great work. Yes, and thank you for tuning in. Malik is my man down in DC. Shout out to him. So yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty much it. If anybody has any last questions or comments, ask them now. Please ask him now. After this, it's going to pay. It's going to cost. His time is very valuable. I know he probably does consultations too as well. So if you have any last questions or comments, please ask him now. Drop them in. Also, if you come back and watch this on the replay, please type a comment in or a question in. If you have anything else for him, I'll get it to him. I'll make sure you get an answer if you have a question and you watch this on the replay. Again, if you haven't shared already, please share, please like, please put a heart up. If you're first time tuning in and you don't know me, I am Ryan McCrary. I'm the president of the McCrary Financial School, an online financial literacy institution designed to teach financial literacy to people that want to be financially empowered, want to be financially literate. If you're brand new, you want to get the free financial literacy course, go to financiallyliteratenow.com. That's financiallyliteratenow.com. Also, if you want to contact Dave Jules, if you want him to, like Trevor said, build a website, or you want to, have a mobile app, or whatever the case may be, anything in tech, content development, whatever the case may be, he said everybody gets that free startup discovery call. So get on the phone with him and tell him about your ideas, about your vision, about your funnel, whatever the case may be. Come to him with value, whatever the case may be, and he can help you. He can point you in the right direction. He can get everything up and running. He can develop stuff for you. So you go to underlineapps.com, underlineapps.com. And what's your email again if people want to email you?
It's Dave at Underline Apps.
Okay, Dave at Underline Apps. Dave at Underline Apps. And again, the website is underlinedapps.com. We already typed it in there. Somebody can type it in again. Joseph says, do we connect through his website? Yes, you can definitely connect through his website, or you can just email him.
Yeah.
He said, looking to have a personal company website built. Great. Hopefully you get some new clients from this. This is why I'm here, just to help people, to share resources, support each other. Have people that if you need a website or you need something, you need a mobile app, these are the people you want to go to. These are the people that know what they're talking about. He's worked with Fortune 500 companies. He's worked with people with budgets, $500,000. So he definitely knows what he's talking about. Again, that's underlinedapps.com. Thanks for just for typing it in, underlinedapps.com. And I'll let you get the last word.
I would, I don't know what to say now. I've been talking a lot, but if anyone has any questions, email me directly. Literally, like starting, I feel like me and Ryan, we know how difficult it is to start a business.
Definitely.
So I'm always so I'm always willing to help people, no matter what question that you have. I feel like I can either answer it or refer to someone who knows more than me. I'd love to do that for anyone in this community. Yeah.
Okay. All right, great. Well, thanks, man. Well, definitely stay in touch. You know what I mean? We got to get together again soon. Sit down, coffee, lunch, dinner, whatever the case may be. We all local, we all in the same city. So we definitely got to work together, not just online, but offline, sitting down. Let me know. You got all my information. So, within the next week or two, whatever the case may be, we definitely need another sit down. Any other events, anything else, happening around the city, locally, let me know. I'll be there. I think the SBA is having something like next week I might be going to. I can send you the information.
Yeah.
I'll send you that too. I think I'll be going to an SBA event next week, something you might be interested in. So I'll email you that. But just thank you for taking the time out to come in, share some knowledge, share some jewels, and just give back and provide value.
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to do it again, and love just to see if I can help anyone else, answer any questions. I definitely feel like if anyone needs any tips for anything, I definitely feel like I can help you out on that. Just ask.
Mm-hmm. All right, great. Well, man, thank you. You provided value. We're definitely going to bring him back. People are loving this conversation. Definitely going to bring him back. Also, man, you should develop a course or something of your own, or you teach a course in here just about business development, because everything you said was spot on. You know what I mean? That's the stuff that we need to know when starting these companies, starting these businesses, about customers and how to keep customers, stuff like that, and just sales and marketing. The consistent thing you talked about and everything you talked about was selling. from the beginning. When you said I wanted to be an entrepreneur in the beginning, I was selling stuff. I was doing this in college. I was selling stuff. Sales and marketing is the lifeblood of business, but it's something I think that is overlooked a lot and something we don't talk about a lot. People just talk about ideas, or it would be great to do this. I'm going to have $1 million business, but they don't talk about like sales and marketing. What's your sales strategy? What's your marketing pitch? What's your advertising budget? You don't know how many entrepreneurs I talk to all the time that don't even have an advertising budget or not even thinking about getting an advertising budget. You know what I mean? So all this stuff is very important. So we're definitely going to bring you back. Also, maybe develop a course, something like that, whatever the case may be. But, definitely we'll be in touch. I'll also send you the information about the other event. And just again, man, thank you for coming through.
No problem. Yeah, and definitely we'll grab coffee soon.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. Again, I'm Ryan McCrary. This is Dave Jules. Go to underlinedapps.com, underlinedapps.com. Also, if you are not currently a student, you can definitely become a student. Go to financialliterateNow.com. financialliterateNow.com. It's a totally free course, doesn't cost anything. financialliterateNow.com.